The story begins on a cold November day in 1970 in the remote Isdalen Valley near Bergen, Norway, a place locals sometimes call Death Valley. A father and his two young daughters were out hiking when they stumbled upon something unimaginable, a badly burned body of a woman lying among the rocks. Her arms were raised in that eerie boxer position from the intense heat. The air smelled of gasoline and charred flesh. Police arrived quickly, but what they uncovered turned this into one of the most baffling mysteries of the 20th century, and it still haunts us today in 2025 and 2026. The woman was estimated to be between 40 and 50 years old, about 164 centimeters tall, with dark hair that somehow survived the flames in parts. Her face and front were severely burned, but the back less so. There was no wallet, no documents, nothing to identify her. Every single clothing label had been meticulously cut out. Some of her teeth were damaged or removed, deliberately, it seemed, to prevent dental identification. The autopsy revealed a huge dose of phenobarbital sleeping pills in her system, along with carbon monoxide from the fire. Officially, they called it probable suicide. But the details screamed something far more sinister. She had been travelling through Norway under at least 8 different aliases: Fenella Lorch from Belgium, Claudia Tielt, Vera Schlossnick, Genevieve Lancia, and others, all backed by forged passports from various countries. She spoke German fluently, French, and broken English with a noticeable accent. Hotel staff remembered her as elegant yet deeply paranoid. She always requested rooms overlooking the street, ate almost nothing, sometimes wore rubber boots inside to avoid leaving footprints. In her 2 suitcases, wigs for disguises, coded notes filled with dates, cities, and cryptic symbols like B7, M12, later decoded as a zigzag route across Europe, Paris, Hamburg, Basel, and back. In the weeks leading up to her death, from October to late November 1970, she moved restlessly between Oslo, Bergen, and Stavanger. Witnesses saw her with mysterious men, one possibly a naval officer. 2 men in dark coats were reportedly watching her in hotels. One person even overheard a chilling remark, something like, "She'll die tomorrow." She had been near military zones where Norway was secretly testing Penguin anti-ship missiles, advanced NATO weapons aimed at the Soviet threat during the peak of the Cold War. The notebook's codes looked exactly like spy shorthand. The dates aligned perfectly with her movements and sensitive locations. Forensic clues deepened the puzzle. Gold dental fillings typical of Eastern Europe or parts of Asia in that era. Later isotope analysis on her teeth, after the case was reopened in 2016, suggested she was likely born around 1930 near Nuremberg in Germany, but spent her childhood near the French-German border or in France. Her mitochondrial DNA haplogroup is H24, rare, tracing back to Southeast Europe or Southwest Asia. She may even have held a French passport at some point. Over the decades, several theories have tried to explain who she really was. The most enduring one: she was a spy in the shadows of the Cold War. KGB operative? Mossad agent? Perhaps CIA? The fake identities, the coded travelogues, the proximity to military tests, it all fits the profile of espionage. Podcasts like the BBC and NRK's Death in Ice Valley explored this angle deeply, interviewing witnesses and experts. Another possibility: she was a high-end sex worker or a courier for something illicit. Her roots were goal-oriented, always looping back to a central point, and the men she met in hotels never came forward. Or perhaps a diamond smuggler. The ports of Europe in the 1970s were hubs for black market trades. Some believe she was a victim, blackmailed, assaulted, then murdered and staged as suicide. Others point to mental illness. Paranoia could explain the disguises and secrecy, though not the professional level of it all. What stands out most is the interference. Norwegian intelligence seemed to block parts of the investigation. Files went missing. Witnesses clammed up. The case was closed as suicide in 1971, despite obvious contradictions. National security secrets from the Cold War era? It feels like someone wanted this buried. Even now, in 2025 and 2026, the mystery refuses to fade. The 2016 reopening brought DNA extraction and a full profile, but Norway's strict privacy laws prevent sharing it with public genealogy databases like 23andMe. No matches yet in international systems. Isotope research keeps pointing to Central Europe possibilities. Some analyzers suggest links to places like Krakow, Brno, or even further afield, but nothing definitive. The most talked about recent theory comes from a 2023 article in Neue Zürcher Zeitung, a potential connection to the Swiss banker François Genaud. He was a notorious figure, post-war Nazi sympathizer who later funded Palestinian militant groups like the PFLP. The theory suggests she might have been a Palestinian courier or low-level operative financed by him. Her travels overlapped with his networks in Paris, Geneva, and beyond. Norwegian intelligence allegedly interfered to protect sensitive information. This fits the turbulent era, Black September in 1970, rising militancy spilling into Europe. Online forums and videos buzz with other claims, like unverified stories of a DNA match to someone named Margot Elise Hoffman, or family accounts that supposedly align, but these remain speculation from Reddit, YouTube, and podcasts. No official Norwegian police confirmation exists in 2026. AI breakdowns of the codes sometimes hint at NATO coordinates, but much of it is clickbait. New episodes of podcasts like The Prosecutors revisit the case, teasing leads, yet the truth stays elusive. More than 55 years have passed since that body was found in the Ice Valley. She remains nameless, her story a haunting echo of Cold War shadows, where people vanished without trace, files disappeared, and truths were buried. Was she a spy who knew too much? A victim erased by powerful interests? Or someone who chose to disappear in flames? The questions linger. In an era when DNA cracks decades-old cases almost every month, why does hers resist? Perhaps the secrets are simply too dangerous, or too deeply hidden. The Isdal Woman waits for the day when the